Hi, this is Susan Gray with A Piece to Remember Painting. I'm here to show you the steps, some just very basic steps to creating book stack decor, like the one pictured in the photo at the beginning of the video. We're using Dixie Belle chalk mineral paint. I'm going to be using the color Fluff today. You want to start with a stack of books. As you can see, I'm using 3 books. I've removed their dust jackets and just very lightly taken a damp cloth and cleaned them off. I clean all the way around, spine, basically everywhere you're going to be painting. We're going to paint the outside covers, the spine, and then I will get, as I'm doing that, the way that I paint them is I hold them in my hand like this and just sort of work with them. And then I try to get in here as well. And I use 2 coats of Dixie Belle Fluff. So that's step 1. All right, now that step 1 is complete, it takes about, you want to give it at least a good 10 or 15 minutes to dry between each coat. So I've waited a little while and let these dry. These are books painted with 2 coats of Dixie Belle's Fluff. And the next step that I'm going to take is that I'm going to apply my stencils. I found these word stencils. They are reusable. And they're pretty firm, they're easy to use, and the size seemed to be perfect for doing books, for working along the spine of the book. I found that the ribbon, I thought it looked better, and for most of the photos that I've seen, people are applying the ribbon kind of more up in the upper half of the stack. So I'm doing my lettering really from the bottom half of the stack down, and I center it. So I'm leaving maybe, about that much between the last letter of the stencil. So if you'll give me just a moment, I'm going to select some words and apply them. And as you know, with stencils, I think the most important part of that is making sure that you apply it evenly so it doesn't go. I'm keeping them in a form kind of the way that I want them stacked. And then I'm centering, oh wow, the Y's gotten a little hinky here. I'm centering the stencil as best I can here, so that, obviously once the caviar is applied, the caviar colored paint is applied. Okay, I'm not going to fiddle with that too long. So I did the words love, family, and blessed. There's, depending on what sort of stencils that you have. A lot of people, what I've seen are children's first names, and it's not quite centered. Children's first names, and maybe the month and day of birth, or the last name established with a date. If you have individual letters and you want to kind of do a more custom look, if you just want something that's just kind of knock it out and pretty quickly and easily, these seem to work really well. So this is what it's gonna look like when I'm done. So I'll be stenciling using caviar. I'll be stenciling the lettering here, okay? All right, so we're back for our next step, which is going to be using clear and brown wax to age the books. And our stencils are applied. I'm very happy with the way that they turned out. I think they look super cute. I think they're placed well. They do appear to be straight, which is always good news. So what I'm going to be using next, I'm going to apply Dixie Belle Clear Best Dang Wax over the top entire top cover of each book. I don't do it on the bottom because I don't think that you need to. The stacks are going to be on top of each other. You may want to do it on the bottom of the last book. As you can see, this one's already been scratched up, so I'm gonna have to touch that up a little bit before I apply wax to it. So we apply the clear wax, and then we apply the brown wax, and I use a separate brush for each one of those. The reason behind applying clear wax prior to applying brown wax is so that if you use too much wax or you don't like where you've placed it, you can go back. The clear coat will help you to, you know, correct anything that you don't like with the brown when you use the brown. You do want to give it a few minutes to dry and then buff it. I think it's about 15 to 20 minutes before you buff it. So I'm going to take care of that step next, and probably about 5 minutes before I want to get started on the ribbon, I'm going to plug in my hot glue gun. So that'll be ready to go for me when I'm ready to put the ribbon on the books. All right. Okay, so I've completed the waxing process. I had started with a clear wax, Best-Aing wax in clear, and after that I applied brown, and I used the brown as a low light to really distress and age it, and I tried to sort of think about it like I do with furniture, which is where is something going to be aged the most. So on the books I figured probably along, you know, the edges, in the corners, along the spine, in the creases. You would just want to sort of put down that brown color, or if you're using a different color, maybe black or gray, depending on, you know, what type of decor you're trying to blend with. For these I did brown, so I tried to just think about, you know, where did it age, where would sort of the most logical place be. And then I guess the other thing I want to say about it is that I do work the wax all in one direction, and that is, you know, along the spine and the length of the book. So it's all going in a single direction. It's not, I don't rub it in or, you know, really do too much to, I do wipe it down, you know, just a little bit, just to sort of get any kind of brush marks out of it, but I don't really do anything too excessive with it. I just sort of place it where I want it and then just give it a very, very light brush. And like I said, I do it all in the same direction. It's a little harder along the edges to do that, so what I do is, you know, I'll wipe it this way and then I'll pull up in the corners. So that was just one little thing to note. I've got my my glue gun ready to go here. We're ready to wrap the ribbon, and that'll be the next step. Now that we've completed the wax and gotten that the way we like it, I just sort of line the books up so they're nice and even, and then I'm going to be, my glue gun is nice and warm, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure out my ribbon and cut it. And the ribbon, by the way, this is no endorsement. I'm not getting any, you know, any kind of, this was strictly for convenience sake. I got all of my supplies as far as the stencils, the ribbon, the dried floral, they all came from Hobby Lobby. So this came from the floral section of Hobby Lobby. They have some great burlaps. I thought it's a canvas kind of burlap look with lace. This is a sort of a styrofoam feel dried flower. They have these in bunches with the eucalyptus and things like that. I guess they're made to look sort of like a dried stem. And then the burlap twine you can find in the fabric section of Hobby Lobby. And then the stencil that I used, which breaks apart, it's reusable. You can just kind of clean it off if you get too much paint on it. They stick wonderfully to a painted surface. I thought they were great to use, and they were the perfect size for the spine of the books. Those I found in the paint and stencil section. So just to kind of give you a heads up if you are just looking to make a quick run to the store for supplies. So you just want to get your books all lined up. Get the ribbon cut here. I don't think I'm going to apply hot glue in two places. First, I'm going to apply it around the front to keep the ribbon sort of tacked down and secured. And if you'll notice as well, I'm going to place the ribbon. I think that's pretty good, because when you're going to look at it from the front, that makes sense. That's nice. I'm going to put a stack on the edge of my chest here, and just apply that hot glue right here, we hope. Yes, I work. Just a couple little dabs along here. Nothing too serious, and I did not do that my first go round. I'm gonna let the hot glue kind of dry there. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and flip this over. Okay. And then I'm gonna secure the ribbon in the back with the hot glue. I just want to make sure it's straight. Obviously it's not, that's not going to sit flush. So I'm just going to apply it here to the end. Come on. I am going to be really honest, I am not a craft person at all. Not even a little bit. So, you know, this is different territory for me, to be sure. So some of you have tricks up your sleeve that I probably do not. I'm gonna set that there and try to work on this a little bit. And then I'm just going to apply a little bit more to this other end. I will say I love how quickly hot glue dries. Okay, so the next step is I have another type of burlap ribbon. It's wire ribbon, so I'm pretty certain this also came out of the floral section of Hobby Lobby. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hot glue gun this in the center, and then I'll apply the flower on top of it. And what I love about the wire ribbon is that you can put a lot of little bendy bends and twisty twists in it and just make it, you know, just kind of super cute, and it gives it some height and some animation. So I'm going to just apply this right here, right now. Man, hot glue is hot. There we go. But it seals up and it gets down pretty nicely onto the other ribbon. So I'm actually going to end up using 3 different types of ribbon here. You don't have to. You can decorate it, you know, any way that you want. I've seen some that are pretty fancy. They used it was really pretty. They used a colored paint. I think it was blue, and then a really beautiful sort of Madras plaid ribbon with some silk flowers, and that was really pretty too. There's a ton of great ideas on the Dixie Belle Retail Only page, and that's the only place that I'm putting the link for the moment. I'll probably post it to my Facebook page after I do my class next Saturday. We'll see if I learn anything new, have any edits on it. So right now I'm just trying to apply some hot glue to this flower, and just so we can get that tacked down. And then the final step after I apply the flower, which I've got some glue on it, so just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and put that down there. I wrapped this burlap ribbon twice, and then I knotted it in front, and then that gave the books it really helps to hold it together. And then the other thing is that it just gives it some additional interest. And I'm using potentially the worst pair of scissors I don't think they could cut construction paper, honestly. My good scissors are at my painting studio. So the burlap, I'm going to move it kind of close, maybe get it in a little bit onto the ribbon. Like I said, I'm just wrapping it a couple times. I've seen it, probably should have put it down maybe prior to the flower. Like I said, the flower really didn't get a lot of glue on it, so this is really just demonstration purposes. I'm going to go back and make it all more secure later on. Kind of just tied a knot. I've seen, you know, the burlap twine kind of wrapped, you know, this way and that way like a Christmas present. I've seen it wrapped up with a key. Hanging too far off. I'm just going to try to do that. So there it is. This is a Decor book stack, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope you are very successful with selling it or using it as a class. Thanks for watching.